Hey everybody, Megan Ritz here with Classic Cakes for another Tutorial Tuesday. Today we are doing our Christmas special. We're going to do a gift box here with a bow on top and everything. We are going to ice this guy. It's a square cake, so we'll get to show you guys icing a square cake. We don't often do the whole process start to finish because we're usually focused in on a very specific thing, so we'll get to do that today as well. Which is a little bit special. So we will do start to finish today with everything. Will you kill the radio for me? Thank you, Ashley. So cool, we're gonna get started right away. If you are interested, I got a bunch of notifications popping up. If you're interested in ordering for our cupcake club, if you order by Wednesday, which is tomorrow, you can go directly on our website. The link is in the description. Then you will get your first shipment in before Christmas. So jump onto our website and check that out. Also, if you have not checked out our YouTube channel, all of our past videos are on there as well. So be sure to check those out as well. So I'm going to turn the blinking off on this so that it doesn't make us all crazy. So icing square cakes is a little bit different than icing round cakes. We want to make sure that we get nice sharp corners on it. I did do some simple syrup on this cake here, so I am just going to clean off my board. That simple syrup is going to help make sure that cake stays nice and moist. We always do that on our cakes to make sure that they don't dry out. And I've got a nice pretty snowy icy blue here. So I'm just going to get started icing the cake, and then we will go through the process. When I ice cakes, I like to put a nice big glob on top. I like to start on the top, work my way down the sides. Just start with our buttercream this way. Have you guys iced cakes before? Share with me where you guys are at. Are you professionals? Are you amateurs? Are you home bakers? Are you just curious what we're doing over here? Do you just like to eat cake? So I'm just going to spread the buttercream across the top of the cake. And when I do this, I want it to hang just a little bit over the edge. And that's going to give me something for this icing to stick to when I do the sides of the cake. So I don't have to make this particularly pretty or perfect. I just want the whole top to have icing covering it. And I want it hanging over the sides of the cake. And then for the sides, I've got a nice glob of buttercream here. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Hey Dawn, hey Deborah, hey Terry. Thank you, Terry. I love my Christmas jewelry. Hey Janine, hey Dawn. All right, so I got my nice big glob, and I'm just going to plop it on the side of the cake. And go along the side here. All I'm doing is attaching the buttercream to the sides of the cake. I will say if your cake is a little bit cold, it does usually work a little bit better. Your cake is going to be a little bit firmer, and so it's easier to do. So we're just going to go around and attach a bunch of buttercream. And then we can make it look pretty. You can always do more than one coat as well. We call it a crumb coat, where you do a very thin coat first, ice it smooth, and then you could pop it in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes, let it get hard, and then you could do a pretty coat over the top of that. Our goal is not to need to do that, but it's nice if you get crumbs in your first coat. It's a good way to lock in those crumbs so you don't have to worry about getting them in that top coat. Or on a square cake or a shaped cake, it's a nice way to get nice clean lines. Alright, so I've got my top part here iced. Now I'm going to add some icing to that bottom. This is one of my favorite tools, this little spatula, which is also on our website. I like these little ones. I feel like I can just get a little bit more detail work done. It's not as big and in the way as the other ones. You guys have all your Christmas shopping done? How are we doing on Christmas this year? Is everybody online shopping? Are you going to stores? I think we just about finished all our shopping. I think we did just about everything online. Although that was more out of not having time. I'm so excited about Christmas this year. We've got Finnegan is 3 going on 4 soon. In January is his birthday. And he is just so excited about Christmas this year. So it is fun to have him at that age where it's all magical and fun. Alright, so I've got icing covering all of the cake. Now we're going to make it the right shape. Make sure our corners are nice and straight and where we want them. Because right now it's kind of blobby everywhere. That's totally fine for this part. Looks like you guys are getting your shopping almost done. 14 grandkids done, my goodness. I love it. You said you can watch this all day. Alright, so let me do this over here so you guys can see. What I like to do for my corners is I like to go straight up. For my edges and my corners. And just keep this clean, so I'll just wipe it off on the bowl. I like to just take some of that icing, that excess icing, straight off. And that just makes that buttercream perky again. It makes my lines nice and straight. Make sure I have my icing where I want it. Make sure my corners are where I want them. Sometimes you'll end up icing your cake and then your cake shifts and it's not really a square anymore. So this will help you make sure everything is where you want it. It's also kind of therapeutic to just make all these lines. It's very relaxing to just make this texture. Also, if you have a hole where you need to add some buttercream, it will be obvious. So it's a good like temp check on your buttercream so you know what you're working with, what you need to add. Sometimes you'll have a gap. Or excess like this. You just pull that excess off. Alright, beautiful. So I have that. Now I have all this excess up top. So I can just pull some of that excess straight across the top and I can get rid of that. And that way, when I go to use my scraper, I don't have nearly as much in the way when I smooth it out. It's easy to take a lot of excess off with these guys and then use the scraper to really smooth it nicely. So I like to use these guys. They're fairly stiff, but you can bend them. Always make sure your edge is smooth. If it feels rough, you can just take some sandpaper and smooth it out. Let me see if I can go to the side where you guys can see a little bit better. Let me grab another. So I've got these little styrofoam risers here so we can raise it up. So, whenever I'm icing a cake, I always like to clean my board off first, work my way up. So when I ice it, I work my way down, and when I smooth it, I work my way up the cake. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Hey Samantha, hey Angie, hey Pam. Alright, and then we're gonna do the corner here. We're just gonna get that excess icing out of the way. Alright, so on first pass, we just have things a little bit straight, but it's still not perfect. We really want to make sure that we're getting everything smooth and straight. So sometimes I will go back and forth a couple of times to make sure all my corners stay exactly where I want them. Once we get this guy iced, then we're gonna put some snowflakes on it. I got some crumbs in there. I'll show you guys how to pull those out. We're gonna pearl it, and we're gonna put a bow on top. And I'll show you guys how to make it a gift box. Alright, so we got our edges almost done here. So we have some crumbs on this back side here. They got pulled through. So I can take my pointy spatula here. Hi Finnegan, thank you for watching. I'm so glad you're watching tonight. My kiddo Finnegan is watching. Alright, so we're going to pull some crumbs out. We just want to take as little icing out as we can. You can use a toothpick. I like to just use the pointy because I already have it out. When the cake is really moist, it's definitely easy to get a lot of these crumbs. If you ice it too thin, like I went too thin here, then it's easy to pull some crumbs out. So I got those pulled out, and then we can just add some more icing over that spot. And that white buttercream we can pull, that was from the filling. So we can always just fill that back in. Smooth that out. And we still got some crumbs. Hate when that happens. So if I keep going over that spot, I'm going to keep pulling crumbs over it. So I just smoothed it the other way to pull crumbs back towards it, or to pull the icing back towards it. So I have my sides iced. I'm going to smooth the top. You can start with your corner or your sides, it doesn't matter. I like to start with my corners. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. I love this color. I love those wintry blues. Icy blue colors, especially once we put some pearl or some glitter on them. Alright, we want to make sure that top is nice and flat and smooth. Alright, let's clean this up. And then we can set up so I can do some piping on here. We're gonna do some snowflakes and some snow on it. And I wanna get you over here so you guys can see what I'm piping. We'll do a bow. I'm going to use my fabric bag here with a number 3 tip. I like piping with the number 3. It's a little bit smaller, more delicate. Let's see what we got here. Bring you guys closer to me so you can see where I'm piping. We can almost see Ashley's cake that she's working on. Is that a unicorn? Ooh, a dress. Very cool. Alright, so let me see if I can get a better angle for you guys. My legs are always in the way of the tripod. Alright, so we are going to pipe snowflakes. 4 snowflakes. We're going to want to start with 3. Let's see if I can angle this a little bit better for you. Ashley, I do have you in my shot. So we're going to start with 3 little axes here for our snowflakes. When we pipe them, we can do a couple of these guys here, and then we can just add whatever frills or little elements that we like to add to make them unique. The cool thing about snowflakes is they are all unique, so you don't have to worry about that one and that one matching. You actually do kind of want them to be different. So I like to make, let's see, if you guys are local, I went over to, oh goodness, what's it called? Penn and Beach today, and poured myself a candle. Made myself a candle based actually off of some cake flavors here today. So I'm super excited to pick those up and see how they worked. But I can still smell the candles. I just got a nice, like, my nose still smells like candles. So it was an awesome experience though. The people there at the Carmel location were amazing. Super fun. It was very quiet. I was the only one in the shop. I definitely recommend checking it out. You can set up an appointment online. Super reasonably priced. So you can make a couple little snowflakes like this. I saw that they sold gift cards, so if you have somebody who likes candles, it would be a super cool way to send a gift card to them. Little locally owned business. So you can do something like this. We'll just do some different ones on each side here. I can't remember if it was Penn and Beach or Beach and Penn. Has anyone been there before? They have a downtown location and a Carmel location. It's a candle shop where you pour your own scents. It was so cool. Absolutely beautiful shop. Oops. My little lines are moving. So yeah, just pipe in little guys on here. Let's see, what can I do differently with this one? I did a tutorial on snowflakes, I think last week. If you want to watch that one and get a little bit more in depth on different snowflake techniques, you can also just look up, if you even Googled snowflake clip art, you would see a lot of like simple snowflake art that would make it easy to create some examples and see some inspiration to pipe some different little snowflakes. I think I like the little dots better than the little stars. I think it's a little bit simpler. Hey, Beach. Penn and Beach. Yes, it's Penn and Beach. Yes, I went there today. It was so cool. It smelled amazing. They were super nice. I made a couple candles based off of some cake scents that we have, or some cake scents. That was weird. I made a couple candles based off of some cake flavors that we have here to see if I could create cake flavored, cake scented candles. That's really hard to say. So I'm excited to see how they burn and if it smells like the cake shop at home. Alright guys, we're finishing off our snowflakes here so we can make our bow. Alright, so we've got this nice messy spot here, so I would definitely want to fix this. We can make a nice chunky snowflake over it and try and bury it best we can. Hide it. Sometimes that's the best we can do, short of re-icing the cake, right? That's what I was talking about before, where we could do a crumb coat and re-ice the cake. So you could totally always do that. Alright, so we'll want to do you know styrofoam? Here. So we'll want to do some on top as well, and then we're going to stick our bow on top. I've got some, a little spot with some crumbs on it on top here as well, so we'll want to cover that up as well. So just always be mindful if you have a spot you don't like on your cake. Can you hide it, or do you need to redo it? Sometimes you can just hide it. I'm excited to show you guys the bow. I love making bows. I think they really are fun to do and super cute. Alright, so we'll put some snow on here. We're gonna pearl this guy. When I put my dots on the cake to make it look like there's little snowflakes falling, I like to make sure they're all different sizes and spaced out kind of unevenly too, so it doesn't look too symmetrical. That way it looks a little bit not on purpose. Alright, let's put some pearl on here. I like the PME, it's an edible luster dust, the pearl. Let me get my lovely drink out of the way. And just a nice even, just like you're spray painting your house, but it's cake. I love it. All right, so we've got our nice pearled snowflakes here. Let's see, we are gonna make a bow now. So I'm gonna set her to the side real quick, and we're gonna make a bow up here. Actually, I'll take you on a little field trip over here. Join me. Let me put this cake back. I'm just gonna walk in a big circle. You guys can join me over here. So this is our sheeter. Let's see if I can lock you in over here. This is our sheeter. So you guys at home, you can roll fondant or gum paste out by hand. It's super easy to use. If you're rolling out a lot, you may want a sheeter. if you have room for it. They work great. You can use them for cookies, for pasta, for any kind of dough. So we use it because we're rolling out tons of fondant. It saves us a lot of time and energy. So this beautiful piece of equipment is one of our favorite things here. So I've got our fondant here. I'm going to, it is a white chocolate based fondant. And so it's gonna just warm up from the heat of my hands when I'm kneading it. So we don't have to microwave it or anything like that. We make it in-house. It's actually quite delicious. It tastes a little bit like vanilla Tootsie Rolls. It's got that like soft, chewy texture. Thank you, Kristen. I do. I love my little bow earrings. So we're gonna roll this out to make our bow. And let's see, I've got some of my tools here. So we can just flatten it with our hands into a rough rectangle so that it can go through the sheeter. And if you have not used the sheeter before, you want to start it off at a high number and then you'll slowly back it down to a lower number and it will roll it out for you. And that is it. We have this beautiful rolled out piece of fondant. So let's move over here with our stuff. I'm gonna have you join me and I'll show you how to make a bow. With our beautiful stuff that we have over here. All right, guys. So I love these little craft cutting mats that have numbers on them, so I can make my bow the same size every time. Unless, like, I have a large size that I make, I have a small size that I make. It just makes it easy for me to not have to take out something different and measure it. So I like that about these mats. I also like that they have the lines on them, so I can sort of eyeball my straight line and keep things relatively straight without having to put something over it and trace that straight line. Now, these don't have to be exactly perfect, but the more accurate your straight lines are, the nicer things look. Alright, so we're going to roll out a nice rectangle. Now you want to match and see. That's very nice. They're the same size. So I want to see where my half is. I'm going to gently crease just so I see where my half spot is. And I'm going to create a little wedge on both sides. Trim that guy a little. It's going to look just like a bow tie. Got a beautiful little bow. I'll make some tails here. Let's add some scissors. All right, let's grab that cake. I'm gonna put the little tails on here. Now I would normally want to let this guy dry with these in here for ideally overnight. That would give it some time to hold its shape a little bit longer, because those bows want to deflate a little bit. So I would normally leave that in a little bit longer. But we can just put that up here. So I would leave that in overnight. But we can make it work for now. Don't deflate on me. There we go. Alright guys, we've got a cute little gift box with snowflakes for Christmas. So you guys can make any kind of, you know, wrapping paper design that you want. You can use stencils, you can use fondant, you can just ice it in a color or paint it gold. The cool thing about this is you can really make it your own and customize it however you want. Any size cake. It can be round, it can be square, but you guys can make it your own. You guys have plenty of time between now and Christmas to try this for yourself, for your family. I hope you will. It's a super cute way to make a cake with your family. If you want to go ahead and play with your cake decorating, I hope you will try it. Be sure to jump onto our YouTube channel at Classic Cakes Carmel and be sure to subscribe. We are working on boosting those subscribes so that we can do some more stuff on our YouTube channel and so we can unlock some tools that they have on YouTube for us over there. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for a Tutorial Tuesday. We're going to take the next couple of weeks off to celebrate the holidays. We will be back in January with some guests. So make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and following us on Facebook. Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing night. I love you all. Have an amazing holiday.